Hello, my name is Calvin Sun. I'm an attorney who's licensed in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. I'd like to talk to you about how you can lower or eliminate your risk of being ticketed or being towed when you're parking. In this introduction, I'm going to give you some general pointers and principles. Later on, I will be discussing particular types of parking signs, how to understand and decipher them, and how to deal with a parking ticket and with a parking officer or police officer who is giving you a ticket. I don't want to be facetious here, but I kind of think that parking lots are for wimps. I find a certain thrill and a certain satisfaction in being able to find that legal parking spot on the street and to be able to park there. Certainly it can be less expensive than a parking lot, but of course it carries the risk of being ticketed and towed, and that's why I put this presentation together, to alert you to some of these risks. You've probably seen a lot of those guides and videos on the best way to fight a parking ticket. I'm going to suggest that the best way to fight such a ticket is basically to avoid getting one to begin with. So in this introduction and in future videos, I'm going to help you to understand some general restrictions and principles about parking, how to understand and decipher signs, types of meters, and again, I'm hoping that it will reduce or eliminate your risk of getting. However, much as I'd like to, I can make no guarantees that you will never get a ticket or never be towed. Principally because laws are going to vary by location. What's true in Philadelphia may not be true in New York or in Washington. So this video and anything that follows is a general guide only. You are still responsible for knowing the specific laws of your particular place. And also I'm going to assume that your car has no problems that would otherwise create a ticket. In other words, you don't have any kind of expired license plate or registration. Your insurance is up to date, and you have no vehicle problems such as perhaps a broken taillight or a cracked wing. Alright, so let's say that you're driving down the street and you see an empty spot and you'd like to park there. First thing you need to do is check for what I call showstoppers. These are the things that are going to make parking always illegal. Again, laws are going to vary by where you're located, but the most common types of showstoppers, and remember there may be others, the two most common are the fire hydrant and the driveway. And I want to emphasize, even if a car is leaving that spot that you want to take, you still need to check for these showstoppers because that other car could have been parked there illegally. Let's talk about fire hydrants first. You're going to have to maintain some sort of minimum distance from that fire hydrant, either in front of it or in back of it. Now, in many locations, there may be signs that indicate that permissible zone, that minimum zone, or there may be special paint on the curb to indicate it. However, be aware that even if those curb markings or the signs are missing, you still might be responsible for knowing that minimum distance, and you still might be subject to being ticketed if you park too close in violation of that minimum distance rule. Now let's talk about driveways. In most locations, parking in front of a driveway, blocking a driveway, is going to make you subject to a ticket. And it's quite possible that even if it is your car and your driveway, you still might be subject to a ticket. However, even if it's legal to do so, I still advise against it. Realistically, do you think that parking officer or the police officer is going to take the time to check the property records, see that it's you, check the vehicle registration, see that it's you, and match them up? In other words, even though it's legal, the cost and the hassle of getting that ticket dismissed, even though it's an unjustified ticket, it may not be worth it. Also, watch out for those driveways that don't look like driveways but actually look like they're part of the sidewalk. Even though they look like a sidewalk, it still is a driveway, and if you park in front of that spot, you still might be liable for a ticket. These types of what I call sidewalk driveways are common in urban areas in the residential sections of cities. In particular, there are a number of them in West Philadelphia near the University of Pennsylvania. So you have to watch out for these driveways as well as the standard driveways. If there are no showstoppers, the next thing to check for are parking meters. Now there are basically two types of meters. The traditional meter, where there is 1 meter for one spot, But also more prevalent now are the so-called multi-space meters, where you have a single kiosk that controls a particular area where multiple cars can park. Depending on where you are, you may have to pay that meter, depending on where you are and the time of day or the day of week. So you're going to need to check to see if there are any signs that govern that spot where the meter is. If there are no such signs, you're going to need to check the meter itself for information on when you have to pay and how much you have. The next thing you have to do is check for any signs that govern that location. If there's a meter, that sign may tell you when the meter has to be paid and possibly how much you have to pay. If there's no meter there still might be a time limit. You still might be restricted in how long you can park there, even if there's no meter, and the sign may tell you that. And the sign may also tell you if parking is permitted at all in that place. And the way to check is to look for the coloring of the sign. In general, signs that are in green will tell you when parking is permitted. Signs in red will tell you when parking is prohibited. If you have found a spot that has no showstoppers, no meters, and no signs that control that location, you have found what I call parking nirvana. The idea is that theoretically you can park in that location indefinitely without paying a fee. Now, as you can imagine, it's hard to find these spots in many cities, but if you look, you may find them. So in conclusion, when you're looking for a parking spot, first thing you need to do is check for the showstoppers, and the two most common are the fire hydrant and the driveway. Second, even if you see someone is leaving that spot that you intend to take, don't assume that that previous car was parked there legally. That car might have been parked there illegally, and even if they got away with it, you still run a risk if you park there. If you don't see any showstoppers, then check for meters. Regardless, you want to check for any signs that govern when and how much you must pay the meter, or even if there are no meters, you need to check the signs to see if there are any restrictions on whether you can park there at all, or if you can park there for how long. Thanks a lot, and in future videos I'll be talking more about how to interpret signs, how to deal with parking meters, and how to deal with officers and with tickets. Thanks a lot.